7:53. The new BaltimoreLink bus system has been up and running for almost 3 weeks now. It took some time for riders to get used to it, and there were some initial complaints. But how's it looking now? We've got the acting administrator of the Maryland Transit Administration, Kevin Quinn, with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You've had a busy few weeks.
It has been busy, yeah.
So the rollout in the very beginning was a little rough. People, they were not used to it, and they did not like it, and they voiced that. Do you feel confident that you've worked through some of those concerns?
Yeah, we're listening. We've been committed to listening throughout this entire process, throughout the whole BaltimoreLink planning process. And so even now, whether it's at the town hall that was held, last week, or even the comments that we're still getting from riders as well as our bus operators, we're making adjustments to meet a lot of the demand that's out there. So, for example, some of the things that were said that night had to do with some early morning service on some of our new high-frequency CityLink lines. And so already we've responded by adding some additional early morning trips on those lines to meet that high demand.
So that's good that they were able to get those concerns out and you all were able to immediately address those.
Certainly.
Some of the other concerns, I guess, were just a matter of it takes both sides. The riders also have to just look over the new routes and become familiar with it, and then I guess it would be less scary, less worrisome, and less of a problem for
That's
them.
right. There's a big education piece here,
yeah.
right? And so, as we've gone out and done tons of education, just leading up through the launch week, we had interactions with over 100,000 people through our street teams and pop-ups. I mean, we had people all over the place, our MDOT transit ambassadors. And so getting the word out is a really important piece of this. So we had interactions with folks that would come up to us and say, hey, I have to take 4 buses now. Yeah. And we'd sit down with them and look at it, and they'd say, oh, actually, I can take 1 bus now. I just didn't realize that new route was there. And so a lot of it is educating riders and being sure they know where they're going before they get on that bus, and not expecting, our operators to know every single left turn and right turn of 65 right. routes. But there's some homework that we all need to do.
And there have been success stories in terms of wait times and route times and just getting to where you're going.
That's right. So, our dedicated lanes in the downtown, your traffic cam was just showing some great dedicated lanes. Our buses going through that downtown traffic. Lombard Street, for example, has seen a 25% travel time improvement on buses going through those lanes. And so, we want to see more people getting on buses and taking those lanes to get where they need to go.
There was another example that I saw talking about getting to the Amazon Fulfillment Center. Before, if you were coming from point A to get there, it took much longer than now you can get from point A in a much shorter time.
Yeah, so there was a report done that looked at it being a 3-seat ride, 3 different buses to get there. It took about 90 minutes, and now with BaltimoreLink you can do it in just 2 buses, and we had to send a crew out there, and we've been doing these kind of tests all over town to try to say, from point A to this job center, how long does it take now? And that Amazon trip, for example, went from 90 minutes down to about 50. And so that's the kind of improvements, that we're trying to give people, and getting to jobs and to job centers much faster than they were able to before.
Are the changes done?
So we're always making adjustments. So MTA, we make adjustments at a minimum 3 times a year, okay, in response to rider feedback. And so, we're committed to always doing that, and to making, adjustments, throughout the process in response to high demand.
Okay. If people still have questions, if they're still trying to figure the routes, if they, anything along those lines, where do they go for help?
Best place is BaltimoreLink.com. They can also check out mta.maryland.gov. The website has a wealth of information. That's a great place to start.
All right, Kevin, thank you.